The topic is evolution. Can we still evolve or extinction is our conclusion. Many people claim the theory is an illusion, but you can't argue with something science has freaking proven. Long-term goal is survival. It's the mission, but things can happen that can F up the system. The lack of resource starts to get recognition, then the whole war flips and resolves the competition. People have ideas, but what are they thinking? Wolverine claws developed on Abe Lincoln? We could get all sorts of mutations, so chill and listen to our presentation. One of the ways climate change could affect evolution is the bottleneck effect and genetic drift. Genetic drift and the bottleneck effect is when a natural disaster or something similar kills a large portion, which leaves not many survivors, but it may cause a species to interbreed with another. It's proven that human-created climate change caused natural disasters such as hurricanes. With these natural disasters occurring, this can always create a chance and become a factor into shaping our future. Climate change is definitely a key factor into the answers of what our future may hold. With climate change being such a broad and controversial topic, I plan to research climate change and interview a Berkeley alumni anthropologist. I'm on the way to meet Berkeley alumni anthropologist Liz Campos, in hopes that she can illustrate to me why climate change can be detrimental to human society.
Do you believe in global warming?
Yes, I do. Like that people can say, oh, I don't have, I can't believe in it like you can or can't believe in God. It's scientific fact that it's happening, and I don't think that anyone should deny that. It's a miracle. It's real. It's happening. The one thing that people have been debating is whether humans have been causing it. So personally, I think humans have been causing it, but some people think that it's just natural also. So, yeah.
Climate change can also shape evolution in regards to the availability of resources. With the changes of temperature and natural disasters occurring, the demand of basic needs such as food, water, and other natural resources becomes a concern. With these lack of resources, this could spark an epidemic of diseases, causing humans to die out, or homeostasis, causing our body to adapt to the lack of some essential nutrients. These lack of resources also can cause competition. This causes a survival setting into species until one has suffered enough from the lack of resources and dies out. After interviewing Liz Campos and seeing her outlook on how global warming can affect evolution, I begin to wonder, can the depletion of resources encourage a hierarchy that could possibly wipe out our world?
Why this imagery, one may ask? We live in a hierarchical world. Hierarchy serves many purposes. It keeps structure, it backs our economy, it is what we know. Conversely, one could argue that it causes the destruction of the lives we deserve. Wars in the ever-present battle for power, poverty and classism, the destruction of our environment. These examples may seem extreme, but for all we know, they may well come into fruition. Climate change is one of the more prominent and well-known issues to our species. But what about the other, more deeper-rooted issues that are not so widely talked about? I'll be looking at heavy-handed hierarchy and how it is hampering our development as a species. I will also be interviewing a studied anthropologist to get more profound insight upon the topic. Today I will be speaking with Dr. Albert Gonzalez, a Southern Methodist University alumni and future professor at the prestigious California State University, East Bay. Perhaps he can shed some light on the concepts of human evolution and its progression?
There's a couple of ways it could go here. You know, if global warming leads to us being, in terms of our technology and culture, sort of being knocked back into the Stone Age, if you will, right? Then we're far more susceptible to actual biological evolution taking place, right? The pressures of natural selection. If global warming doesn't impact us in that way, if the technology is still the same, medical technologies and so on are still around, and it doesn't cause us to lose significant portions of the population, then things will probably be much the same as they are today, operating within those same sort of bounds, you know. However, if it does, let's say the worst happens, and we're all sort of knocked back into the Stone Age, right, one way or another, as a result of the great catastrophes that are connected to global warming, then in that way we're far more susceptible to the pressures of natural selection as all the other species. I mean, right now we're currently in a world where egalitarianism is literally a thing of the past, where we don't really have that in any serious sense across the board in terms of human populations, right? So long as the hierarchy continues, there will be haves and have-nots both, and the haves will be a small group of people, as they are today, a small group of people for which most of the world's wealth and resources sit in their hands, and then a much larger group of people that don't possess hardly any of that wealth or any of those resources.
It is dismissive to deem one being superior to another in a world where we are all merely components. People should not be oppressed based on their phenotype or genotype, on their locale or ideas. The goal of our species should be to carry on, and perhaps progress as well, if necessary. It is unacceptable to have the lives of millions at risk over the sake of a political dispute. Entire land masses that do not belong to us are at risk over battles for power. A continued use of hierarchy can deplete us of many things. An adjustment of our reliance upon this mechanism can quite literally save our lives. I believe egalitarianism is the optimal choice to further sustain our species. Perhaps longevity is what's necessary to see a further evolution in our genus. But what does the future hold? What is our potential evolution? What is our telos?
In the time you take to watch this project, humankind will have evolved genetically. Ultimately, we have to decide how pleased we are with ourselves as a species. This is the great watershed dividing those who favor human evolution and those who oppose it. Will increased intelligence help us with interstellar travel if we've exhausted every resource there is to man? Will the elimination of the hobbyists help us achieve telos and help us achieve longevity? These are the key things we have to look at, because as you know, all it takes is a natural disaster or a nuclear holocaust to throw us right back into the Stone Age and right back into natural selection. Let's assume that Homo sapiens figure out the riddle of climate change and global warming. Let's assume that humans figure out to eliminate the hierarchy and adapt an egalitarianism society. Can humans still evolve? With our intelligence, are we still capable of evolution? I will get to teachings of a known anthropologist, as well as look into the future and research if evolution is still possible.
Say honestly, at this point, right now, the way things are, maybe the strongest would be our own manipulation of our own genes by geneticists and so on. It's hugely unethical at this point. There's no real good ethical excuse to do that, but it is entirely possible, and the indications are that we're starting that process in many ways already. So who knows if 5,000 years from now we'll see something like a different species that results from genetic manipulation and so on.
Dr. Gonzalez made a great point. Not only is nature in charge of our future evolution, but so are we. With our increased intelligence, Homo sapiens can now influence human genetics. Whether it's by our own hand or the impending doom of exhausting our resources, Homo sapiens can and will evolve, whether it's on Earth or through a dispersal in our solar system. After all, Homo sapiens have a thing called innovation.
believe that we can still evolve and go to a system where hierarchies dissolve, where everyone becomes equal in all. If not, it may cause our planet to fall. Changing plans may happen to survive. Nuclear radiation causes us to die. We don't know where we'll be on the map, but we will evolve, and that is a fact. In a way, we don't have a choice. Sorry, Albert, this couldn't be in Kermit's voice. Peace out. How about that? Hey, though?